Do you have an opinion in particular about taxation, Murthy sir? I think many governments and we have precedent in the Western economies where someone like Richard Nixon maybe tweaked the tax rates multiple times. He realized that 20% is probably the kind of number where most likely will there be honest taxation where people are willing to pay that 20% and the incentive to circumvent that goes down. Do you think in the capitalistic society of today, India included, there is an appropriate level of taxation?
Well, we have to realize that India is a poor country. A per capita GDP of $2,300 puts us about twice the per capita GDP of what is called low-income countries by the United Nations and other bodies. We are still far away from being called a middle-income country, where the per capita GDP is somewhere between 6,000 to about 12 to 15,000. You know it very well. Now, in a country like India, where there's a large mass of poor people, I think we, the evangelists of capitalism, must accept that we have to pay a higher level of taxation because there are so many public services that our government will have to provide for the poor people. You know, the other day the Prime Minister said that, that his government will provide free ration to 800 million people for the next 5 years. So what that really means is we have at least 800 million people who do not have the capacity to earn 2 meals a day. Now, it's partly their problem, but partly the problem of the society. Poor fellows, they would have tried hard, but they may not have been able to get jobs. So, in order to create efficient, corruption-free, and effective public goods in our country, the taxation will have to be obviously higher than what you see in developed countries. So I personally would not at all grudge if I have to pay a higher level of taxation. I'm quite happy because it's only, Priyank is here, it's only people like him who will have to say, how can we provide the best services for the poor people? However, when you provide those services, when you provide those subsidies, there must be something in return that they are willing to do. For example, if you say, I will give you free electricity, then it would have been a very nice thing for the government to have said, but we want to see the percentage attendance in schools, in primary schools and middle schools, to go up by 20%. Then only we will give you that. In other words, nothing should be given free, but there should be a contribution of the citizen also towards making our society a better society. So I think so therefore, while I am not against free services being provided, I fully understand. I also came from a poor background once upon a time. But I think we should expect something in return from those people who receive those free subsidies to take a slightly bigger responsibility towards making their future generation, their own future generation, their own children, their own grandchildren, better in terms of going to school, performing better, etc., etc. That's what I mean.